I started designing my dream board game in the year 2016. Well, it's now 2025 and I'm still designing it. So why is it taking so long? Well, first let me give a caveat, because I think when I say I've been designing it since 2016, it sounds like I've been designing it full-time, nonstop ever since then, and obviously that's not the case. This started as a fun pastime, and it got more serious as the years went on, and I realized that I might have a game worth sharing with the world. Now, first, allow me to give a quick recap of how the game has progressed over the years. In 2016, that's when the idea sort of birthed into my head. I quite literally just wanted to combine Risk and Catan into one game so that you could take over people's settlements. Who doesn't want to do that? I think we've all had that idea at one point, but I found it quickly starting to consume my thoughts. I would go to bed thinking about it, wake up, I had a notebook that I'd write all of my rules and ideas down in. I never thought about making a board game before, and I found it extremely fascinating and rewarding. So this quickly evolved into me making customized artwork for my game, drawing tiles in Photoshop, designing 3D pieces, and the thought of releasing this game and publishing it never crossed my mind. I never wanted to do that when I first started designing it. I just wanted something for friends and family. But something changed. I noticed when I would go and playtest at a coffee shop or something that I would get a lot of people looking at it and coming up and asking what game it was. And there seemed to be a lot of curiosity and fascination around it. And that's when I began to think that I might have something on my hands that a broader audience might like and might appeal to. At this point, things escalated. I got more serious about designing. The thought of maybe publishing it one day was motivating. And so, I play tested, I refined my rules, and I really thought I had something ready to release. I thought I was ready to publish, and this was about a year and a half ago. How wrong I was. But something occurred to me around that time. I thought, I'm going to do all this work designing a game and theoretically release it, and no one will care. No one will know about it, besides people that are close to me. And so around that time, about a year ago, I decided to launch this YouTube channel. And it's been great. I've loved making videos. It's been so rewarding. The feedback I get from you all is incredible. And there's things that I didn't even know about board game design that you all have brought to my attention that I would have no idea about otherwise. Tabletop Simulator. I had no idea what Tabletop Simulator was. And that's been a great tool to help playtest and prototype things, get feedback on it. And your all support has really encouraged me to keep going and working on my game. Fast forward to today, and I've definitely made additions to my game, tweaks based off of feedback or just my own ideas. And I've made a lot of progress on it. But lately, I really just stopped and thought, I've been working on this game for almost a decade, and it's not finished yet. And it's been kind of bothering me. And I haven't even mentioned how long I've worked on this game on my channel. I think maybe some of you think I just started working on this game last year, which isn't true. Sometimes I think that I have very little to show for how long I've been working on it. And it kind of looms over my head that I haven't finished it yet. But at the same time, I don't want to rush the ending. I've come this far, so I want to make sure that I finish it strong. But that's a brief summary of why it's taken so long. So let's go over the low points. Like I said, I never wanted to give up. I love doing this. It's extremely fun and rewarding to me. But there are times where I've burnt out, and even while having this YouTube channel. So one thing I've been thinking of a lot over the past few months is how much time I spend making videos for the channel. It takes a lot of time to make a script and film it and put B-roll music in, all the stuff I do. And that's time that I could be spending actually creating the game and finishing it. Then there's also feelings of, is my game actually good enough? I've never published a game, and to be quite honest, I haven't played a ton of board games that I'm sure you all have. I actually realized doing this has actually opened my eyes up to how many board games there are. I mean, growing up, it was like Risk and Catan for me, chess and Monopoly, and that was it. After making this channel, I was like, wow, there are so many board games out there that I've never played. And part of me wonders if that's worked to my advantage because I think that's given me a lot of original ideas, maybe, even though my game's highly inspired by Risk and Catan. But a lot of the mechanics that I've incorporated, I think, are pretty novel. But it also makes me feel as if I'm not experienced enough to actually make a board game. Now, I don't mean to complain at all. I don't want you all to get that impression. I just want to give you a glimpse of what goes on in my head. So what's kept me going over the years to keep working on this? I think it's the fact that it's just mine. I view it as a piece of art that I'm creating, and I have complete control over it and the freedom to do what I want with it. And that's just a lot of fun to me. It's a great creative outlet, and I think that actually helps me keep from burning out on my real job or in other areas of life. Most of the time, I make work for other people. I never get to hold it and see it, and this has been something that I get to design, and then the pieces come in real life. That in and of itself is extremely rewarding, getting to see a creation from the digital world and actually hold and feel it. I mean, getting the 3D pieces in the mail for the first time, the tiles, that was just an incredibly satisfying experience. It was so rewarding. I was so fascinated by it. It was just so cool. But I talk a lot about Lord of the Rings on my channel, and growing up watching the makings of them, and just seeing these people pour their heart and their soul out, all of their creativity. It just oozes with passion when you watch the movies. And I remember just wanting to be a part of something like that so bad growing up. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And I feel like through this process, I've gotten to taste just a little bit of what that could have been like. I think being able to share this process in the game with others has kept me going as well. There's nothing more exciting than creating a piece of art that then you get to interact with it with other people. I mean, that's one of the reasons I made it, is to just spend time with friends and family and being able to share this journey and the progression with you all. And obviously the main thing that keeps me going is the hope to get it published one day, because at this point that is my main goal. So now we come back to the main question. Has this been worth it? Over almost a decade designing this board game? Well, I say absolutely. Outside of faith, family, and friends, this is what I'm most proud of that I've worked on in my life. It might not be much to some people, but to me, I'm extremely happy with it. And even if it never were to be published, it would be worth it to me, just based on all the joy and the creative satisfaction it's brought me over the years, all the things it's taught me and I've learned. Now, obviously, I'm going to publish it. I think I have an obligation to you all to do that because you've come along this journey with me, and I think that's what most people want to see. I think I owe it to myself as well at this point. Now, I think one of the main things that this has taught me over the past few years, creatively, is don't settle. If something doesn't feel right in your design, don't settle. I've mentioned that creativity is like a puzzle piece. And we've all done puzzles where the piece looks like it should fit, and you try a million different ways and it just doesn't fit. You can settle for that, but it's not going to click. It's not going to scratch that creative itch that you have, and for me at least, it's going to bother me. One thing I've learned is that if you're patient over time, I think that these things sort of have a way of bubbling up and manifesting to the surface. There's been so many times working on my game where I know that something isn't right, and I know that there's a better way to do it. I can't put it into words yet, but if I sit on it long enough, if I think on it, the answer always comes. That's where I'm at with the victory condition as well. I've mentioned that I'm considering other options for the victory condition, but I think that is starting to bubble to the surface, and that'll be another video for a different time. So yes, all the years designing this game, I would say 100% it's been worth it. Now, why did I make this video? As I mentioned, I think that making YouTube videos over the past year has been great, but I've noticed I spend a lot of time making them. And honestly, a lot of it is sort of off topic of actually documenting my journey in creating the ultimate strategy board game. So what I'm going to be doing from here on out I think is more face-to-face, just videos like this, where I'm going to truly just document the progress I've made making the game. And right now that'll be things like the finishing up the victory condition, perhaps finding artists to redesign some of the pieces I've made, and just truly documenting the process and the progress. And when I get to publishing, just sharing what that's like, because I've never published a game before. I don't know if I'm self-publishing or going to a publisher, but I would like to just document all that, and I think that's why I made the channel, is to document my progress making the Ultimate Strategy board game. And I think in a lot of videos I add a lot of B-roll, it's scripted, I add a lot of effects, and I might have to cut back some of that so I can truly just focus on getting this game finished. But I'm looking forward to it. I think this might be a better way to connect with you all, and I'm curious what you think, if this is a good video format. I think one of the reasons why I in the past have done these highly produced videos is that I didn't think I could do something like this, and I would script it out and I would cover up my mistakes with B-roll and graphics, and it was sort of this perfectionism. So I have a few videos that I would like to make in the next few weeks. I have the secret project that I'll be unveiling soon. Then I would like to do another round of playtests similar to the ones we did a couple months ago. But after that, I want to get serious about my main goal, which is publishing this game. And I thank you all so much for coming along the journey with me. It means more than you know. It keeps me going. I'll see you soon. Farewell.